209 High Street. I got kind of intense there, so I'm just going to just bring a couple issues. First of all, I want to thank the whoever was responsible for the tire issue that I made comment about the last meeting. That issue was resolved. Thank you very much. One gentleman mentioned about the canal thing, which I'm kind of I kind of like to see something like that happen to Mount Holly. And my understanding is that what I see in the town now, Mount Holly's got a lot of things. They have these alleyways, and at one time maybe they might have been canals, but my concern with the alleyways are some are public access roads. My biggest concern is Broad Street. On Broad Street, there's Brown's Alley. I don't know if you noticed, but lately it's been deteriorating to a point where it's traveled quite frequently by a couple of businesses that are on that alleyway, plus the fact that we don't have I'm limited to one parking spot on off-street parking, so my wife uses that alleyway to park her car there. But the curb is starting to deteriorate to a point where we're talking about potholes here. And I see people have been putting rocks and bricks in there, which is all fine and dandy, but when it puddles up and cars hit that, the brick hits and all it's doing is making the hole deeper. And no one's making any effort to who's responsible for the alleyways and the driveways of the township, and who's going to maintain them when they start to deteriorate, such as the one on Broad Street, and I'm sure there's probably other alleyways, because Mount Holly's got more alleyways, I think, than any other town in Burlington County. I've never seen so many alleyways in one town than Mount Holly has. It's like amazing. But who maintains?
Township alleyways are our responsibility. I'll stop out there tomorrow and look at it.
Just look at that one, Chief.
See if
And not
there's,
only that, but there's other ones.
I'm sure there is. A lot of times we'll get millings,
Okay.
repack them and everything, but I'll take a look at them
All
and
right.
see
Okay.
what we can do.
Just as long as they're not abandoned, right? So
Right, I mean, if they're abandoned, or we abandon them, or,
Because sometimes an alley will get abandoned, but that one,
No, it's,
Yeah, that one's ours.
a lot of the alleyways in Mount Holly are quite frequently used because, like I said, you're limited on your off-street parking. You need them alleyways to park in your back, into the back of your property. So.
but the town does actually abandon them every once in a while, and you wouldn't know it until unless you lived there when they sent the notice out. Like, they tried that with the alley behind my house back in 2001, right before 911.
Okay.
And, they, had people came in and said, don't abandon it. People don't come in, they get abandoned. And basically the property, the alley itself is 12 feet wide, let's say. 6 feet goes to one side, 6 goes to the other. And then the township doesn't have any responsibility after that point.
Okay.
We had a lady that came in here talking about a right-of-way off of Grant. And, that could have been an alley at one time, but now, somewhere along the line, it just became, you have the right to transverse through it forever, your grandfather, but it's a real pain in the neck, because if the neighbor puts up a fence, you can't call the cops to have the fence put down, you have to bring them into court. But some alleys, have been abandoned, and that one there is pretty high profile. It's got it has a telephone box back there, it's a T intersection.
That's an issue there. Why is that? Well, I'll get into some
That
of
was
this.
there for a
That
long
telephone
time.
pole is an
Yeah.
issue there in
But,
its own self.
well,
Why is it there?
And once fiber predominantly takes over, then stuff like that will slowly disappear. But anyhow, in that particular case, it would be ours, right?
Okay. All right.
Anything else?
No, that's it. All right, thank you.
Thanks a lot. Anyone else in that row? No? Next row back? No? Back row?
Let's see you do it again.
Audrey Ritson. The Bispham Street Bridge, I saw the original plans that came back from State Historic Preservation on that with the rather ornate sides, that they were putting up iron sides. Is that still
I
the
have to pull
plan?
the file. I talked to Bill Long this afternoon at about 3:30,
Okay.
and I gotta pull the file tomorrow morning and look at it and
Because that
see.
was like a major, a welcomed but major
Right.
undertaking. So that's fine. You'll keep us in the loop maybe
Yep.
on how long that's going to take, but I would think a long time.
I'll know, I don't know if it's Wednesday or Thursday.
Okay, well, that's fine.
Yeah,
Just
it's Wednesday or Thursday.
when you're there, ask and we'll figure that out. Live Where You Work, a group of us went down to a Main Street all-day seminar in Atlantic City, and there was a man that spoke, that ran that section and said that anybody that wanted anything to do with Live Where You Work should call him, so I'll send you on
Would you
his
have-
name and
that
his
would be-
number,
yes.
because he bothered to come and talk for an hour, he maybe would like to talk to you. We are having a meeting on Wednesday night at 6 o'clock at the Elks. It's gonna be a primer on Main Street projects and an effort for us to get more businesses up to speed on what Main Street's doing in conjunction with UEZ, in conjunction with other organizations. It's gonna last for 1 hour, 6 to 7. So if anybody would like to hear any of that, we'd welcome anybody from council to come for sure, or staff. That would be great, and hopefully we're getting a lot of businesses to come that have been out of the loop, and we're gonna get them into the loop. Thank you to everybody for everything that you've done for Fire and Ice. That was, I think, a very good day for the businesses. Made a lot of cash registers ring, and that's important this time of year. And I heard that lots of businesses met up with lots of new customers, so that's always nice to hear too. It means new people coming into town, so that's good. So thank you. And UEZ meetings, are they gonna start back up again? Since I think you've got to be the council liaison for that. We haven't had any for a while, and I thought maybe that would be starting now that everybody's seated and stuff.
As of right now, we don't have any dates set up, but
Okay, but that's the plan.
the plan is to start having some meetings again.
That's fine. Great, thank you very much.
Thanks. Anyone else in that row? Over on the left, against the wall. Joyce?
Joyce Wright, North Street. While we're in the subject of potholes, things like that, we have a big one on Main Street before you get to the light at Pine Street.
You beat me to it.
Every time. And there's traffic coming that way,
Complaining
so you
about
got
it.
hit it every
He
time.
told me just to complain about that.
Was that Mill Street?
That's right across from the bakery and the college before you hit Pineville.
Yeah, and before you hit
Looks like they
the
dug up
little
our water
market.
main, did a quick patch, now there's a big hole there.
Yeah, well, I'm having a problem with them in the air, certain areas too, where they're just, whatever patch was not working, and so I'm constantly calling, all right, I'll check it out,
A lot larger tonight because I hit it.
Yeah, every time. Every time. You can't miss it.
That's when I called.
And also the parking lot near Woman's Lake, if there's any way we could get it built, because it's
Okay.
getting some really bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we just redid that last year.
But whatever happens to it, it's just,
Okay. Might just need to be graded over.
yeah. And our alleyway too, between Tommy Joy and Hill Avenue, that comes out on 7-Eleven. If we do that, parking lot crossing the lake is a priority. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else against the wall?
Hi, Carolyn Youngbeam, 197 Cardinal Lane. And the potholes on Woodpecker, they're really bad. And in one area, there is where they fix that water main.
We've had the water company out there 3 times for that, because it's an intersection, holes, and then what happens is somebody pulls out, they spin wheels, it's a constant. There's another one on Hemlock that they fixed, it's recessed, and that actually could have been fixed, because that was when it was warmer out, so I'll call them again and I'll give them a list of stuff.
And I'd just like to mention, and I take my time to come here because I do care about Mount Holly. I've been a homeowner for years. I worked out of town, kept my home, I moved back. When I come to the meeting, and I said it with the other council members, if you don't agree with something with each other, I don't want to sit there and hear you bicker at one another. It's not fair to any of us. And I agree, you are the mayor now, but you have to remember, when you were on this side of podium or that, you had an opinion and you had cares and you wanted someone to listen to you and consider, maybe we can do it a different way. We may not always agree, but we can, compromise on things. If something bothers Randy, you've known her for a very long time, and I don't think she would just bring it up because she wanted to cause trouble. We have to remember we're all entitled to our opinion. If we're not comfortable with something, when we come here, we want to feel we can tell you how we feel and know that you're going to respond in a positive way. And especially if you remember you were spoken to in that fashion when you were sitting one seat over, you don't want to talk to each
Yeah,
other like
it's real
that.
hard to let that aggravation go, though. It certainly is.
Yeah.
But I did hear what she said, and I was given several prayers to pick from another governing body, and I'll look at them again, and I'll find one. I would even sit down with Randy and say, hey, what one, you think, but it was made clear to me that it's the option of running the meeting, that's one of the options. And as I was told for the last 2 years, and was never asked my opinion on anything, and I'm not saying that I didn't ask opinions, but the fact of the matter, I'm not gonna even address that, because I don't need to in this particular case, because this was a decision that it was mine to make. I don't have a lot of decisions that I can make as mayor, in this form of government, but running this meeting and, the agenda, putting things on the agenda, that's one of the few things that, I can do, so, I did say that, the father piece, there's 6 of them, I believe, 5 or 6.
And you can do that,
Okay,
but in
not
the
a
same
problem.
token,
Not a
it's
problem.
not a dictatorship.
Oh, I understand.
And,
But again,
listen
it's a,
to
it's
what
a, it's
we
a,
have
you
to
were
say
here,
out
and
here.
you were here, and it's taken me a little bit to, get past, all the crap that I got piled on me for 2 years, being told straight out, I will run this meeting any way I want, right
And
to my
I
face.
sat out here and I heard that, but
Okay?
that's more the reason
So,
why you wouldn't want to do it this go
I
around.
understand, you pushed it, but, I'm a human being, and if my buttons get pushed, then, from the same group or whatever's left of that group, that pushed them in the past, then I gotta get past it, but, I still, get aggravated, when, the fact of the matter is that the last time I had the discussion with, the person that seems to have the most issue, I got ripped. And so, lines of discussion, every single one of these guys, I have lines of, these 3, I have lines of discussion with, and I could talk to
They
them
never
all the
even
time.
acknowledged that
You
you
know.
discussed the prayer with them,
Well,
whether you did or not. But I mean,
again,
we're the public. We're
Right.
entitled
Right.
to, hear you out because you are the mayor.
Right.
But you also have a certain way you have to do it. When my neighbors had problems, they didn't want to come to the meeting because they didn't want to be, they felt very uncomfortable. So the chief came to my yard, sat there, and everyone, 16 people, he heard them out on his own time.
I'm very familiar with
And,
it.
okay, but, we are people. You are people.
And you see
But
me all
there's
the
a way,
time, and we
and
talk.
I'm here every.
But I have, the same as anyone else, I have buttons that can be pushed.
But you can't
Just
take it
because
out
I've
in
got
that
this,
position.
doesn't
That's not
mean,
what it's
I know, I'm
for.
doing the best I can with it. But if, if push comes to shove, you're looking at the guy that, I'm not going to, all of a sudden transform into some, politician
Well,
basically,
we don't
I
want
guess,
you, we don't want you to lay down and take it.
I
but we
mean,
just-
that's the bottom line,
There's
I'm
a
not
way
really
to
a
do
politician
things
if
to
you
get
haven't
it
figured
done
that out.
right.